Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Gina and I make videos about houseplants and houseplant related content. And I make videos every week. And thank you so much for joining me here today. So today's video is going to be a plant care video. So I was walking around just kind of looking at plants, looking for bugs and whatnot. Today's a watering day for me, so I was just kind of looking around. And I came up to one of my plants and I was like, okay, you lady are not living your best life. She isn't. And so I need to do something about it. So today's the day. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do that today. And then I thought, well, why don't I get you guys involved with it? Why not, right? So the main thing we're going to be doing today, actually the only thing we're going to be doing with this sort of plant maintenance, is I'm going to be propagating this plant. So if you have propagations to do, maybe grab your plant and we can propagate together. That might be fun. So, all right, let me show you the plant. The lady that needs help. I don't know why I'm referring to her as a lady. I don't know. It just seems like a female to me, a female plant. Weird, right? Anyway, so this is my Obovata Variegata. And as you can see, she's quite large and she's very long. And she's quite heavy too. So she's got a lot of big leaves on her, really thick, large, heavy leaves. And so I'm just going to prop her up on my knees here while we talk. So before I decided I wanted to do this video, she was on a trellis. And the trellis, let me see if I can grab this trellis here. So these are the trellises, and they're like, you can connect them. There's two trellises, one on top of the other. And they're just plastic trellises, so they're not like real sturdy. So she was attached to this trellis, and I saw that the trellis was just kind of bending, and it was like this. It was at an angle like this. That doesn't look good. I don't like the way that looks. I pulled her off of that trellis and really didn't even realize how long this plant had gotten. So I wish you could have seen how it looked on the trellis before I pulled it off, but that gives you a general idea of how it was looking. So the other issue I'm having is I had recently moved this plant to a southeast facing window, and I don't know if you can tell in this video, see how faded these leaves have gotten? That's because it's getting too much sun where it's located right now. So this is a gorgeous plant when it's like in optimal condition, and I want to get it to that point. So that's why I'm doing this. So another reason why I haven't propagated this plant yet is because there's so much I want to cut off of this plant. So there's going to be a bunch of propagations, and I just didn't have the space for it because I just have my prop boxes, and all these large leaves, all these propagations are just not going to fit in my prop boxes. But I have a grow tent now. I just got a grow tent. I'm really excited about it. It's in my basement, and it's a 5 by 5 by 6 grow tent, so it's pretty large. And I now have space to put some of these larger leaf propagations, and it's really exciting. And I will show you guys that tent pretty soon. I'm still getting it like looking really nice, so I want to wait till it's all done, till it's all like, I want it to look good for you guys. So, but you'll be seeing that very soon. I tell you guys, I have been like a propagating fool lately. I've been propagating a ton of stuff. My Ripsalis, Hoyas. What else have I been doing? Oh, Syngoniums. I'm going to have syngoniums for you guys. And all these propagations, eventually they'll make it into my shop, which is thepinktrellis.com. So check that out. There are plants available in there right now. But you'll see eventually these guys will be in there. The Obovata Variegata, syngoniums, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited about this grow tent. So, okay, so let's get back to this. So I have everything set up in the other room because I need lots of space to be able to do my cuttings. So we're going to move to that room and we're going to start cutting away. So if you want, grab some of your plants that are like overgrown like this and maybe make some propagations of your own. So, all right, let's head out over there. All right, so I have everything set up here in my dining room. I have my soil, my scissors, which I already sanitized. We have our plant, and let's get started. All right, so something different I'm doing now is I always used to propagate into sphagnum moss, but I've since changed, and because I have my grow tent now, and I have more space, I can use bigger pots, and I'm propagating right into soil. So this is my aeroid mix, my chunky aeroid mix that I'm using, and I'm excited to be able to propagate into soil now instead of sphagnum moss. So yeah, okay. So let me go ahead and fill up my first container. All right, so like I said, I am going to be taking quite a bit off of this plant. So right here, there's another stem, another growth point here. And I'm gonna cut all the way up to that second new stem. So let me just go ahead and do that right now. All right, so this is what we're working with. Okay, so hopefully my lighting isn't too terrible over here. So one thing I want to keep track of is what is growing up. Like this is the end of this stem here. It's growing this way. Like, does that make sense? Like, I want to make sure when I pot these propagations, I'm going to plant them this side down. I don't want to end up like accidentally putting this side into the dirt. Does that make sense? So I am going to, I just have to make sure I keep track of that. So let's make our first cut. So we're going to cut here, and I'm going to make sure this end goes into the dirt. So actually, I also have my rooting hormone here. I want to include some of that in there just to help it root faster. Oops, made a mess. So these are kind of like, I might have to pin this down because it's kind of wants to flop up. So I think I'm going to do that as well. So I have to go get my wire to make a pin. So I'll be right back. So what I do is I just use this like floral wire, and I make myself a pin like this, just like that. And then I just pin it right into the dirt. And that holds it in place and keeps it from flopping around. All right, so there's our first one. All right, next. Okay, so I got all of these done. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 propagations. I am concerned though, because I noticed when I was cutting these stems that there's not like a lot of the milky sap, the waxy stuff coming out of these stems. And the leaves do feel a little like, they feel a little bendy, dehydrated. And I was thinking it was because this plant was sitting in the sun in its new location, and it was, the plant was pretty dry. But now I'm kind of wondering if maybe this plant doesn't have root rot. So I'm going to unpot it and take a look at the roots and see what's going on with them. I'm a little bit concerned about it. So let's do that. So here it is. So let's get it out of there. All right, so right off the bat, I'm seeing some roots and they look fine. I just watered this. All right, I think it's okay. You can see this was the pot it was in previously. It's the shape of the previous pot. And I upgraded it to the larger pot. And the roots, oh, I'll make a mess if I bring it in, but the roots, they're okay. At least these ones I can see. I don't really want to like pull all the soil off. but I don't see any rot, so that's good. So I think it was just suffering in the sun, drying out too fast. We'll see. I'm gonna keep an eye on this one though, just in case, like maybe it was too dry and then I just watered it and it could cause root rot. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this one. So I'm gonna put it back, but like I said, I'm gonna keep a close eye on this one. All right. I think once I have it out of the sun, I think that will make a huge difference for this plant. But I still don't know why it doesn't have a whole lot of the sap. And the only thing I can think is maybe it's because the plant was just so dry that there just wasn't a lot of the wax production, I mean, there is a little bit in there. It's not like these stems are dead, but there's just not. A lot of times when I cut my Hoyas, it just drips out of there. And it wasn't doing that, which was surprising to me. So hopefully this plant will be okay, and hopefully my new little propagations will be okay. All right, so the next step is I'm going to take all of these and give them some water. And then they can go into the grow tent and hopefully thrive in that grow tent, and we'll have some beautiful new plants. And then I'll probably take 1 or 2 of these and repot them back into my original pot just to make a fuller pot. So yeah, that's my plan. So I got all of these watered. Hopefully that wasn't too boring for you guys to watch. As I'm doing it, I notice there's like a big semi truck outside, and I'm curious what's going on there. I thought it was a moving truck, but I don't know why. It's not a moving truck. I don't know. Something going on in the neighborhood. All right, so these are all watered. So now we're going to, these have to go in the grow tent. So that's the next step, the grow tent. To the grow tent they go. My new babies. So here she is, all trimmed up, much more manageable. And too bad I'm a little bit concerned about her, but it happens. It's just part of plant life, I guess. Owning plants, it's not always going to be perfect. Not every plant is always going to be perfect. This isn't actually the first time I've dealt with issues with this plant. In the past, like when I first got it, it came to me in leca. And I tried moving it into soil, and it did not like that at all. And it ended up rotting, getting root rot, so I had to reroot it, and then I was able to get it into the soil. So I don't know, maybe this is a little bit of a more fussy plant, possibly, but hopefully her propagations will do well, and she will do well, and I will be sure to give you updates on them. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.